What if you met yourself, but it's a female version?
I'm not a narcissist, so I'm not interested in fucking myself. You cannot have two kings. Having two identical people with the equal amount of dominance is very unhealthy. So basically, no, I would not want to fuck myself.
Why do gamers desire dating other people that are also gamers, or at least somewhat of a gamer? Yeah, Snow, what do you think? Why do gamers want to date other gamers?
For me, it's the same in real life as well. A lot of people I talk about relationship stuff, they would say it's better to have mutual interest. Like overall, like what are they doing? Are they interested in music together? You know, like strike up conversation for the first time meeting each other and whatnot. And when it comes to like gaming stuff, you can, you know, a lot of gamers meet their partners in like gaming stuff in like lobby card or something. But yeah, it's just mutual interest for me. Yeah.
And do you think it would work out if they were like, if you're a gamer and if you dated someone that's not a gamer but have the same values as you?
I mean, if we're speaking like I'm dating myself, then I mean I can do everything on my own basically. Housewife, I can game, so that's fine. Like I'm okay with it. Hey, Snow, I would have this breakfast today, you know. But yeah.
But what
It's
if
not the question,
you dated someone that's not a gamer? Do you think it would work out? They're not a gamer.
I date a non-gamer before, and during that time, it's not really good. They've been asking, what did I do? I'm just playing games. What did I do? I'm just playing games. And then after that, they go like, oh, you didn't have any intention to me, just games. And it's, for me, I don't think it's work out for me, because she doesn't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, fair point.
And yeah,
Okay.
that's the end of it. Because yeah,
it's like this silent hammering. Very, very small back side of my head. Just it goes continuously. It doesn't end. No, I think it's
I'm
frustrating.
sorry.
Look, no, it's not your fault, Snow. It's inherent. I can't blame you for that. Look, it's.
Why
I think in a relationship, having mutual habits and mutual hobbies is a good thing, right? That builds a strong relationship. But I also think it's to do with sort of communication, right? So much of gaming, so in linguistics, we have this idea about digital literacy, and I think gaming is built on top of that. It's sort of this very specific game literacy. And to some extent, it impacts how we affect or how we sort of understand the world and sort of the places around us, right? And when you date someone who is so alien to sort of games that they don't understand how any of the mechanics work, they're trying to get them to drink water, right? You brought a horse to water, and you're trying to get it to drink and thinks it's bloody acid. It's deeply, deeply frustrating because it's exactly the same feeling as walking your parents or an older person through how to use Windows or how to use a Mac, and they're going, but I used to use DOS. Why can't I just open up command prompt and use my DOS commands? Deeply, deeply frustrating.
Yeah.
To the extent of which I have personal experience where the relationship didn't work out, and I think part of it was because this lack of what I'm just going to coin as gaming literacy has sort of impacted the way I communicate with them. And maybe that's a judgment on me. Maybe that's a judgment on sort of what I need in a relationship, being that I've so heavily invested in sort of gaming and that sort of aspect of life, right? It's one of my larger hobbies. But it was incredibly hard to share sort of experiences that I would consider to be incredibly valuable, right? For example, flying a spaceship in Elite Dangerous. It is a fantastic experience, great game. The first time you enter the sort of the black, right, the void, it's sort of amazing and also deeply terrifying. But I tried to get her to sort of leave a station through the mail slot, and I'm pretty sure she exploded 2 or 3 times, ended up outside, and somehow ended up turning off a spaceship entirely and drifted around. So that was painful for both her and I. Another time it was Dark Souls, and I think it was Dark Souls 3. And it ended up in a lot of shouting and stuff, right? Because it was too difficult, or she didn't understand how iframes work, or she didn't understand sort of that you had to, drink Estus to heal, right? And I consider them to be really valuable experiences because I think they're amazing. But I understand entirely if someone wasn't into that. But I just wouldn't be into a person that, couldn't understand these things or had that much difficulty experiencing these things. I think part of it also, as a person who plays a Souls game, it's about overcoming strife, right? It's about overcoming sort of that challenge, and people who are not able to beat a Souls game are lesser people, and I don't respect them, right?
No.
So if you should play Elden Ring, because if you don't, I don't respect you.
No.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's like
I'm kidding.
It's like a playing
I still
rage
respect you,
game
just
and
less.
then overcome the challenges. Yeah.
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 It's about overcoming strife, yeah. I mean, granted, it's a very paltry amount of strife. It's like stupid digital video game strife. But it is still character building, I feel.
Yeah. I mean, what about... So let's say, yes, that person that you dated, okay, they're not good at games or they're not a gamer, but they're so into making coffee, they're so into literacy, they're so into like human history, everything that you like but not gaming. And
That's
they
tough.
share the same values.
Also,
of course.
human literacy is not a thing, but okay. That's tough, man.
Still like it would be difficult.
I will, yeah, okay. So even if we share the same interests and the same mutual hobbies, but she doesn't share, I think gaming is such a core thing to me because I don't know, I grew up with games. It's just a part of the way I understand media. That it will be very difficult, especially if she was still as sort of obtuse as she is normally in gaming. Obviously, I don't have an issue if you're willing to learn and you're like not an idiot. But like she was playing like a potato, and sort of I have difficulty coaching a potato into pushing buttons because it doesn't have limbs.
Maybe.
I don't know. It's tough. Obviously, exceptions will occur, but right now the rule is anyone I date will have to, at the very least, at the very minimum, have beaten one Souls game. So like both of you would fit the category. Obviously, I'm the straightest man alive, so
It's really hard to take that away as well. Yeah, like we're grown up. Some people grown up with like games. It's really hard to take that away as well.
Yeah. I think if I met like a special person, exceptions, like rules have exceptions, right? That's just part of it. But if they're just a normal person, then I need them to have some form of literacy in terms of video games. Otherwise, it'd be very difficult.
What if you met yourself, but it's a female version, and that special person is for you?
Snow, I'm not a narcissist, so I'm not interested in fucking myself.
Maybe we'll ask our green hairs friend.
No. I mean like a female version of yourself, like has your.
I know, but I'm not a narcissist. I'm not interested. Okay. I'm a pretty dominant personality, right? I think that's been made clear, right? You cannot have two kings, right, in a system that's functional, right? Look at Sparta. Sparta was created so that its system was more or less dysfunctional, right? They had two kings, which is why their system of governance, their society, basically doesn't change, right?
I can understand.
You cannot have a functional, flexible system with more than one sort of dominant personality, I feel like, in a relationship, right? Unless you're really committed to being a switch. But I think even in a relationship with two switches, you would still have someone that's more dominant and someone that's less dominant. Having two identical people with the equal amount of dominance or equal amount of submissiveness, unless you are right on sort of the 50-50 mark, I feel like is very unhealthy. Because you'd argue all the time about who wants to go on top. So basically, no, I would not want to fuck myself.
Yeah. yeah, I mean, in my case, not necessarily like I would definitely try to find someone that with first same values, but secondly, of course, that's also a gamer. I mean, hopefully the same level as I am, or maybe more. But in terms of if I would want to find someone that's less of a gamer, so I don't know, they just play Tetris or whatever.
Or game.
So some kind of like chill mobile game or something, yeah. As long as
Well, no, here's the thing. I don't respect them. No mobile games.
but as long as they understand, let's say, the core idea of why
Gaming, yeah.
the gaming, then I think the relationship would work out.
Well, when they understand, don't get hit more.
Yeah. Roll left. If they understand roll
That's
left,
the core idea of 95% of games, man.
yeah. If they understand
Yeah,
roll left,
left.
yeah.
No, roll left. Roll left is
Roll
the
left.
solution, you see.
When you play
Solution to all
Pac-Man,
things.
roll left. And Pac-Man.
Okay,
Well,
okay.
you don't
I'll
roll,
have
but you
know,
can go
One
left.
of the moves in Pac-Man, right, is you need to do a frame-perfect clip, right, where you go left. I'm not
Yes.
kidding, right? That is genuinely one of the moves.
So there we go. Pac-Man is a Souls game.
Batman's a Souls game.
But yeah,
That's true.
in terms of why, like, I guess gamers would desire to look for another gamer is because, I mean, to put it in an example, I feel like if you're dating, a gamer is dating someone that's a non-gamer, it feels like they're dating a parental figure. Your parents, like, they don't understand it. What are you doing? Come have a chat with the family. Pause this online game. Like, no. Like,
Dude,
yeah.
no, it's like
Yeah.
that, but it's also, in a sense, like dating a child, right?
Yeah.
You teach them how to walk. You
Yeah,
teach them
yeah.
how to drink water. You teach
Yeah.
them to use their hands. No, push the Y button. You see the triangle button on the PS4 controller or the PS5 controller. Actually, the Y button on a 360 controller. Oh, it's very confusing, isn't it? You see, when I talk about R1, R2, I'm talking about right trigger and right bumper, man. Oh god. Ugh.
Yeah. I
Pain
guess
and
that.
suffering, man.
Yeah, I guess that
And okay,
boils.
so I think it's incredibly interesting to look at people who don't play video games when they play video games, and there's a good YouTube
yeah.
series for that. But I also think it's deeply frustrating if you're the type of person who gets frustrated when people, can't figure out how to use a PC, can't figure out what double clicking is, use internet browser, Internet Explorer or like Edge, right?
Yeah.
And I'm that type of person, so I can't. I'm too toxic when I look at people, when I watch people play video games for the first time, because I desperately want them to be better, and they always end up disappointing me. Such is life.
Yeah, you want them like to get into it like straight away, kind of thing.
I
Yeah.
want them to figure out how to roll.
The Asian
I
mentality.
want them to figure out how to leave the mail slot. All right. I want them to figure out how to lift their plane up, right? Or their spaceship up, right? Align themselves to a bloody mail slot. It's not that fucking hard, and just thrust forward without going up, down, left, or right. All right.
Look, sometimes it's hard.
I have that
It's
issue.
not hard, guys.
Look,
Right.
it's
I have that
Just
issue.
have
as well.
situational awareness. Oh my god.